What is up, guys? It's Fat Leo. This is first power rankings video that I'm doing for Kakuna. Let me just turn off this light. It's a little bright. Yeah. Whoa. Look at that color change. Oh. Okay, I've had enough. Right, so yeah, Kakuna power rankings, and yeah, whatever. Let's begin, I guess. So first off, we got Robin in 5th place. By 5th place, I mean 16th place. Reason we've got Robin is because he's the only one without a win. That's pretty self-explanatory. But I do want to go into his games a bit. Week 1 he had a pretty good performance. He had a close game against Will the most, and Will took it with what looked to be Scarf Heatran. So here's the thing, man. I watched all these replays. But I can't, I don't have time to clarify everyone's sets, right? So it looked like Scarf Tran, man, if I'm wrong, whatever. But that looked like Scarf Tran because he outsped a Lottie. Or no, it was Scarf Tran, I think it was Scarf Tran because he outsped something else. What's Slurpuff speed, actually? Slurpuff. So Heatran's faster than Slurpuff anyway. Okay, maybe it wasn't Scarf, but in any case, I know Robin had a Scarf Lottie, right? Robin had Scarf Lottie. And he hit Will's Heatran with Surf, and he didn't kill him. And then Heatran killed it with Flash Cannon, and then Heatran killed Slurpuff with Flash Cannon as well. I think this Heatran was scarfed because it was because a defensive Heatran wouldn't outspeed unless he's simply enough speed to outspeed Slurpuff. But I think Will had Scarf Tran to pull it out in the end again. A really close one, 2-0 against Robin. Robin's second game was against Inverse, and he actually, again, Robin was playing really well. What happened in this game was Robin was actually up 4-3, if I'm not mistaken, and he's got Charizard YN, and his opponent Inverse has Manaphy. Is it Inverse? Yeah. So it's Inverse. Inverse had Manaphy, and Manaphy's in on the Zard. Manaphy, I believe, wins the speed tie, gets the Z Rain Dance off, and Robin goes for Solar Beam, gets caught a turn charging it. Then Robin goes, and then what's his face? Inverse went for, I don't know, Surf maybe? Took a Solar Beam, because I think Zard won the speed tie the next turn. Took the Solar Beam, but at +1 speed, in the rain, Manaphy swept the rest of Robin's team, so Charizard was the only way to beat it. They had 1 speed tie each, and yeah, that little misplay, staying in and Solar Beaming that Manaphy is what lost Robin the game. Again, it was a nice performance otherwise. Against Itzia, he lost like 2-0 or something, or 4-0, I don't know, but he tried a belly drum at some point in the mid game, and Azumarill came in, and Azumarill just clicked Aqua Jet and did 47%, and Sand was up, so Slurpuff was just gonna die. Slurpuff was draining things with Drain Punch, but ultimately it wasn't enough. It was just gonna drop to either Priority or Sand or something. Just died, or maybe he didn't even get a speed boost. Actually, he didn't even get a speed boost on it, so. Wait, you get speed boost with Unburden. In any case, it didn't. He tried to use the set, it didn't work. He lost it, and then he lost the game. Then he had 4 losses against Mio and Luis. I don't know. It doesn't really look like he's. I don't know. Like I watched those games. There's nothing really of note. He didn't really have a chance. He got smacked. Yeah, that's it. So that's why we've got Robin at number 16. Talked about this guy for like 4 minutes. Alright, next we got Mio, 1-4. First game he played against Inverse, and he had a Thundy T with agility, and he almost won. So what he did was he clicked Inverse brought in Charizard X to take a +2, to bait a +2 speed Thunderous's Z move. So, and he went for it. He went for Acid Downpour, but Inverse switched into Fortress, took that hit, did no damage, and eventually when he brought Charizard back in, Thunderous couldn't kill it. So, and that was like, Charizard was the one stopping the sweep. Charizard was the only Pokemon stopping the sweep, and Inverse played it well. And Inverse didn't let it take any damage until the Z move was already burned. So, couldn't really have done anything there. in his game against Will, he brought nothing from Mega Main. Like, Will cleaned it at the end. He picked up the last 3 kills with Mega Main, and just like the entirety of Mia's team was just weak to Mega Main. I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't really convinced by that. Daniel smashed him, I think 5-0. I'm not even going to talk about it. He just got smoked. And then this is one game I do want to talk about, man. I might talk about this when it gets to Jake, because his game against Jake was pretty meaningful. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about that game when I get to Jake. But he lost to Jake, right? And then he beat Robin like 5-0 or whatever. So, it was Robin against Mio for the only guys that are 0-4, and someone had to win. So Mio took that one. So that's why I've got him at 15. You'll notice again, different number of games for everybody, because I'm doing this during week 5, but week 5 is 2 weeks long, so people still have the remainder of this week to finish their battle. So some people are only gonna have 2, but it doesn't really matter. It's not that big a deal, because I'm popping in now to see what's up right now. You know what I mean? Like, this is the first power rankings video, so it doesn't even matter if people are at 4 or 5 battles. I'm talking about the form, so it's okay. It's not a big deal. I mean, in the future, I'm only gonna do it like week by week, because I'm only gonna have to do it for 1 week. Now I'm doing all of this stuff because I have to catch up, I guess, for all the other weeks. So we got Ice next, and I've thought about forgetting to talk about the Pokemon they've been using well. Thing is, with Mew, I put Zygarde because I couldn't look at his team page for his Pokemon, because his team page is loaded with crap. So you get Zygarde, and I'm not even talking about it. Robin actually has 7 kills with his Latios, so he's been using it really well. And moving on to Ice, let's see. Ice is 1-3 -8. His first 2 games were played by Damon. His third game, he 5-0'd someone. Who did he play? He smashed Oao 5-0, and then he got smashed by Jared, also I think 5-0. So he was 0-2. Like the team record was 0-2 before he came in, so he won 1, lost 1 with a neutral differential. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave him here. If he climbs, he climbs, but if he doesn't, he doesn't. Next we got, and apparently he's been using his Kyurem well. Honestly, I just put a random Pokemon there because, like I said, this guy's played 2 games, so it doesn't really matter. Next we got, in 13th place, we got Max. Now Max has had a pretty tough schedule, so he's played, not Max, Joel. So first week he played Joel, second week he played Azar, third week he played Ian, and then 4th week he played Narth. So it's not like an easy schedule for him. I guess it's not that tough. It's tough. I mean, everyone's got a tough schedule in Kakuna. It's not like a super hard one. But against Joel, this was like a 75 turn stall, and Joel stole this. Joel Squirtle, yeah, Squirtle Joel. Joel stalled him with 3 Pokemon. I think the first half of the game he used 3 Pokemon. He used Steelix, Shaman. What's another one of? What else does Joel have? Where is he? What's Joel's team name anyway? The Champs? Oh right, Squirtle Squad, of course. So Joel, he stalled him with, I think it was Suicune, Shaman, and Steelix, if I'm not mistaken. Suicune, Shaman, and Steelix. And what he did, he just stalled all game. He just stalled him for like 75 turns, and he won comfortably. That's all there is to it. So Max lost that one. I don't think Max was prepared for a stall. That's why it didn't look like he had a chance in the game, because Squirtle legit stalled him, and Max didn't look prepped for that at all. Next we got his game against Azar. That was a clean game. You know, nothing really crazy happened. I don't remember the details, but it was clean. Azar played alright. Max played alright. Honestly, don't remember the details. Then the next 2, he yeah. So the only one he won is the one against Ian, which he brings in Scully on something switches out. He clicks SD and kills something the next turn with a Savage Spin Out, I think, and he keeps getting speed boost, and he just like cleans the game 4. I think he won 4-0. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just cleaned 4 Pokemon with Scully, but he did a bunch of work with Scully. Definitely swept it up with Scully at the end, and then the final game, man, like again, he got stalled. Narth stalled him. Again, another like 75 turn battle. The amount of times that Narth click Roost is just ridiculous. Between Scizor and Arrow, and Max never crit. Or maybe he crit, but Max never crit to break through the stall. Like, it was crazy. Like a 75 turn stall. Narth was legit crit baiting and stalling the whole game. That's all he did. That's all he did. And he won. He successfully stalled him out. So Max, I think Max could probably climb a lot better, or much higher, because his game against Azar wasn't that bad, but he got stalled out twice. So I think he should just watch for that. Make sure he doesn't get stalled out. Just prep a little more offensively, I guess, and then maybe he won't get stalled out, and maybe he can, I don't know, maybe he'll rise, because it seems like he struggles with stall. So I'm thinking something that could be good for him is to just bring more offense, more power. He's obviously been using Scully well. It has like 5 kills. What is it? E max. How many kills? Yeah, 5 kills. It's only played 1 game, so yeah, that game against Mio is the only one that he brought it to, and he got a 5-0 sweep with it. So he's definitely been using that Scully well. All right, so that's number 13, Max. Let's move on to the next one. Take off these Pokemon, these gifts, and move on to the next page. So let's throw in Decidueye and flip to the next page. Alright, so we got Ian. Let me just pull up Ian's page. I believe Ian is the Sphealers. Yes, he is. I picked Decidueye for him for Pokemon that was doing well, because it's been... it was hard to pick what Ian was doing well, you know? He's 2 and 3. Like, not well, but I don't know. I just don't know Ian, so... And he didn't... No Pokemon really stood out, except maybe Muck. No, I mean, he doesn't have Muck. He doesn't have Muck. My bad. No Pokemon really stood out in his usage. Week 1 he got destroyed by a Muck. No. Week 1, okay, he had a Alolan Muck, ended up dropping it, but week 1 he destroyed Luis with it. The Muck Luis just had nothing for it. Just destroyed. He lost to Daniel in week 2 because he let Daniel set up Mega Gyarados in the mid game, and it just broke his whole team, and he couldn't recover. Next following week, Max swept him by SD Scully. Then, jeez, yeah. So my note for his game against Will is Will straight up Heat God. What do you even do to this man? What that means is that's the game. You know what? I'll talk about Will's games when it comes to Will. So let's just say Ian lost in an unexpected way to Will, and not hacks or anything. Like, it was totally on Will. Will did well. He outplayed Ian and everything, but it was an unexpected way that I'll talk about when I get to Will. Then he had a nice win over Inverse. I think he was like a super clean, whatever, no big deal, no drama. So that's why I've got him here. I think Ian, like, he got swept by Garrett. He didn't get swept by Gyarados, but essentially he had his whole team borked by Gyarados, and then Scully did sweep him. So I think you should just be careful for setup sweepers, and he can probably climb quite a bit. Alright, what do we have next? The Sid. Oh yeah, Joao, my favorite. Joao, I was actually gonna spell your name ZHO-WOW in this box, but it didn't fit, so you got lucky there. Lucario's also not daring to look at you because you are not doing him justice and not winning him enough games, so that's why he's got his back to you, Joao. I think you need to step it up before you drop in the power rankings and Lucario leaves your team entirely instead of just having his back to you. But I'll talk about Joao. So this is pretty funny, man. So his week 1 game against Jake was pretty ridiculous. What happened was someone... Okay, I'm gonna pull it up. Let's see, show no replays. I'm gonna pull it up. Tech Frokies versus what the hell is this guy's name? Joao. Let's show out. Jesus, Jake, why do you play? How many leagues are you in, dude? This is impossible to find. Base Tech, Willie RNG Lord, Darth Vader, Blackburn Snovers. There we go. Jeez, so many games. Right. So what happened here again? There was a Chillenberry usage. Okay, well, so Joao, first of all, Joao, like an idiot, you should really stop doing this. Stop sacking all your Pokemon just to get up hazards. Joao got up 1 Spike and Rocks and sacked 2 Pokemon just for that. And Joao, you should have, why didn't you set more spikes instead of sludging the Venusaur? Anyway, maybe he had some crazy plan. But there was one point here when something fun happened. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, so this is how it goes. This is the turn. So Joao has double attack, 10 HP Lucario. I'm not sure if this thing has Life Orb or not, but Jake brings in Tornadus T. Tornadus T, right? After Rock, so 76%. I don't know his spread. So Joao went for Extreme Speed, which did 36% because of Chillenberry. So now you see that Chillenberry wasn't necessary. However, Tech Frokies, Jake goes for Hurricane and misses the Hurricane on the Lucario. Lucario lives, Lucario kills with E-Speed. Turns out he wasn't Life Orb. And then basically the game ends by the game ended because that Lucario just did too much work and broke up Jake's whole team. And Joao was able to clean the rest. So Joao, I'm not impressed with this win. It's not to say that Joao would have lost for sure if he hit Hurricane, but I think if he had Torn, he probably would have won the game. So Joao did not play well this game. He sacked 2 Pokemon just for a little bit of hazard damage. I don't know, maybe he did the calcs and he's like, all I need is a Spike and a Rock, but he was literally sitting in front of a Venusaur clicking Sludge Bomb as this thing is recovering instead of setting spikes. So I don't know what this man's doing. Anyway, next game. Andrew, he got smashed. He just lost 5-0, I think, against Andrew. Oh man, against Inverse, this was Joao's game against Inverse was actually really nice. I'm going to pull that up as well. Blackburn Snovers. Let's see. Yeah, his game against Inverse was ridiculous. There was alright. So there was one in this game where, man, if this thing ever plays, these Showdown League plays are so broken. Alright, so at the end of the game against Inverse is when this gets real. So he's got a Rabombi, he set up Quiver Dance, but doesn't take things out. So he's down 3-2. He has Tornadus, he has Tornadus Eye, Grass Knots, the Primarina, which lives. So that thing Ice Beams Tornadus drops to 3%. So you got 14% Primarina, 3% Tornadus, and I think max HP Blastoise. And then there's Jolteon at 63 and Charizard X at 64, but Rocks are up. So he goes to the second. Blastoise is at 53 or 63 or something. Goes to the second Grass Knot, right? Prankster goes for the Tailwind as the Jolteon switches in. He dies. Goes for Scald with his Blastoise. Does 46 to the Jolteon, so he doesn't kill it. But Jolteon Volt switches, and he lives on 7. So it looks like the Jolteon didn't have Thunderbolt because he couldn't kill him. He killed the Charizard coming in with Dragon Pulse with the Tailwind. So Charizard is dead. Then Jolteon came back in, and he's still outsped because he had one more Tailwind turn, and he took it out. Now I'm not really sure how Scald. I'm not really sure why Inverse didn't have Thunderbolt, but that's what it appears. So Joao took another win there. What's our last game? And he got smashed by Ice, which I'm not even going to talk about. He just got destroyed. Next guy we got Jarrett. Oh man, Jarrett's. This gets, these power rankings get good the closer to the top you get. So this one is probably going to be longer than the last. So Jarrett, I have Jarrett 9th or 10th, but I don't think Jarrett's the 10th best player in the league. I think Jarrett is better than his record, and I think he's going to climb. Because if you look at his games, he's +5. So he's sub 500, but he's +5. So that's really good. That means his losses are close and his wins are high. So So he's only losing to good players, and he's beating all the bad ones, and he's only losing close games to the good ones. Maybe, okay, maybe Jared can only beat bad players. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But I think Jared's gonna be. He's impressed me. He's impressed me. So first of all, he beat Daniel 5-0 week 1. I have nothing to say about that. He just smashed him. Simple. Against Luis, it seemed that almost every set he brought was taken advantage of by like a fast Lottie. A Lottie that could roost on everything, because Luis spent a lot of the time roosting on Lottie. It felt like Luis only used that Lottie to beat Jared in that game. I think that was the least impressive game that he played, that Jared played, because he just couldn't beat that Lottie, man. That Lottie stayed in like, it was on the field for so many turns, he just couldn't take it down. Next we got oh man. Okay, this one was pretty awesome. Wait, wait a second. Does Jared have Salazzle? Let me just make sure of something super quick. Lookers. No Salazzle? What the hell happened to this guy? Oh, yeah. Okay. So he has Salazzle. All right. So he 4-0'd Ice. Jared 4-0'd Ice really nicely. So what he had is I believe Ice had a Dugtrio, and Jarrett had Shed Shell Salazzle. So he led Nasty, not led, but he at some point he brought in Salazzle, set up a Nasty Plot, something came in, he killed it, and then who's the Dugtrio guy? Man, whoever he was. So they tried to revenge the Salazzle. Oh, it actually says it's inverse. No. Ice. So Ice tried to revenge the Salazzle with Dugtrio, but he turned out to be Shed Shell. So that was just a nice set. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but that you would have Shed Shell, but it was, it worked out. So it's just something to talk about. Against Inverse, he actually lost to a 50-50 Sucker Punch mind game. So he got in with Gothitelle. And the situation was Gothitelle is in on Keldeo, I believe, or something like that, or maybe Kang. Oh, okay. So Gothitelle is in on Kang. Kang has Sucker. Gothitelle has Psychic. Gothitelle is Scarfed, and that is confirmed. So Ice had 2, and I believe Jared had 2. So it was, if he clicked Sucker as Jared Psychic, if Ian clicked Sucker as Jared Psychic, Ian won. If Ian clicked, no. Not Ian. Ice. If Jarrett clicked Psychic and Ice didn't Sucker, Jarrett won. And ultimately Jarrett just lost that 50-50, and unfortunate. Which is, you see what I mean? Like, he's losing a 50-50s. He had one bad game against Luis, but other than that, he lost a 50-50. And then okay, and then the Will game, the game he lost against Will, is I'm just gonna pull up the game and show what happened, because that game was just ridiculous. So let me just pull up this game. That Will Jarrett game was amazing. Amazing. For those of you who haven't seen it, you absolutely have to check it out. I'm just going to skip a bunch of turns, get to the late game. At some point, basically, so I'll start talking about it now. So basically what you have is Salazzle comes in on, okay, so anyway, Scarf Keldeo, right? Scarf Keldeo takes out Chestnut with Icy Winds, right? Icy Winds. This is the end game. Scarf Keldeo Icy Winds the Manectric to drop it into range of Salazzle. So at this point, what's left in the game is Max HP Salazzle, 72% Manectric, and 12% Life Orb Crawdont. So Salazzle rips off the Fire Blast, kills the Manectric because he's Scarfed, but Crawdont wins with Aqua Jet. So, wait a second. Yeah, he was Scarf Salazzle, so he outsped the main, killed it with Fire Blast, and then he got beat by an Aqua Jet from Crawdont. So the way this game ends is it literally ended on a priority move from a 12% Pokemon. So at the end, the only thing left standing at the end of this game was a 2% Crawdont. That's how close a loss this was to Will. So this guy's been using, so that's what I'm saying. I think Jared's better. than that his record shows. We'll see. We'll see. Kang, he's been using him really well. Kang basically uses Kang to break like everything. So I don't know if it has the most kills, but the way he uses it is in the game, it just breaks everything. So next we got Narth, and believe it or not, Narth's best Pokemon has been Linoone, and I think that's actually without a doubt. So let me just let me just check Narth's team. What was he? Staraptors. So he's got 4 kills with Linoone, no more than 2 with anyone else. So Linoone's been doing the work for him. First few games, how did he do? He played Jake early. So against Andrew, he actually cleaned with a Linoone. It looked to be Bandit or something. His game against Will, well, my note says Will is just 2 flames. So I don't know what happened. I don't remember. I made these notes yesterday. I don't remember what happened in that game. Yeah, it says Will is just 2 flames. So he almost swept Jake with Belly Drum Linoone. Oh, Will, he lost to Will. Will's 5-0, by the way. So he lost to Will. Again, I want to detail all the Will games when I get to Will, because a lot of these, I'll be talking about a lot of I'll be cross-referencing a lot of games. So if I can just talk about the Will ones just once when I get to Will, it'll be good, because I could talk about the Will game. I could talk about Will forever, honestly. The way Will has inspired me. Will has inspired me now. Once what he has inspired me to do is revealed, I'll give him credit. But Will has definitely inspired me with his play this season. So Narth almost swept Jake with Belly Drum Linoone. The only thing that had Jake survive is a Chilan Berry on Tornadus. So this man runs Jake runs Chilan Berry on Tornadus all the time. So Chilan Berry on Tornadus saved him from the sweep, and because it appeared Narth put all his eggs in that basket, that he didn't have enough to take out the rest of Jake's team in that one. So at that point, Narth is 1-2, and then then in his last game he stalled Max for like 75 turns, basically clicking Roost every other turn or more than that. So that's the bottom 8. We got Narth sitting just outside the top 8, and yeah, I think it's time to move on to the next page. Page 3. Yep, you'll notice a bit of a shift in whatever. I don't know why exactly that happened, but it happened. So we got Azar. Let me put up the Crosma for this guy. There's quite a bit to say about Azar as well. Azar he's 3-1, and he's only number 8. He has a better record than the guys above him, because they have already lost. But I even talked about Azar, and he agrees with me. So I put him at 8. Then I asked him where he thinks he is. He said he thinks he should be at about 8, and I'm like, cool, man. Like, we agree on this. That's pretty good. So Azar and I are in agreement about his rank. So he's number 8, and let's explain why a 3-1 record is only number 8. So he's +5, right? So he's 3-1 +5, and he's only number 8. The reason for this is game against Damon. I talked about Azar about the details of this game, and that's pretty good, because otherwise I would have, if I had made this video before I talked to Azar about those details, I would have been putting out the wrong information here. So it's a good thing he told me about what happened in that game. So if you guys don't know, that game, Azar played Damon, and he flinched Damon 4 or 5 times in a row with Icicle Crash, with Weavile's Icicle Crash. So what he did is he killed a Magneton or something, and then he flinched a Diancie, and he killed that too or something. He flinched his whole team out. But Azar told me he still had Como who could have swept, and Celesteela who could have swept, that didn't even come into play. So he may have still had the game anyway, but I don't know how close it would have been. Maybe he would have lost anyway. Maybe he would have lost if he didn't flinch his entire team. So he played okay. He played okay for sure. He had some insurance policies, but it didn't. I don't know. It was whatever. So that's a game you don't drop someone for. But it wasn't too impressive a performance. Then his next week he played Max. He just won. Man, like maybe I didn't watch that battle. No, I did. I totally did. Yeah. He did some work with this Ghost Fire guy, with Blacephalon, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. It was like a normal game, whatever. Not too big a deal. The Jake one is pretty hilarious. So basically, the only two turns that matter are. Well, let me tell you a few things. So basically, he won with Necrozma. Azar won with Necrozma, which is his best Pokemon for good reason. He just uses it so well. So he just brings the right set every time. So what he did was he brings Necrozma in on something when it's low. When Necrozma is low, when it's his last chance, Jake goes hard Tornadus T. Hard Tornadus T. Azar clicks Swords Dance, and then Tornadus T clicks Hurricane. Jake misses Hurricane, and Tornadus and Azar clicks Autonomize or whatever, and just proceeds to sweep Jake. Or maybe not. Maybe he didn't sweep him, but he destroyed his team enough to the point where Jake couldn't do it. All because Jake missed the Hurricane. So Azar took this win because Jake missed the Hurricane. Okay, and then you have this game against Daniel where he got clobbered. Daniel beat him 5-0, and Azar had like every mock. Azar has like all these mocks. He's like, yo, what do I do with this Mega Gyarados? And we're like, oh, do this and that. And I don't know what he ultimately ended up bringing for Mega Gyarados, but he didn't even lose to Mega Gyarados. He lost to Nihilego. He lost like 4 Mons in the mid game just like that. In like 4 turns, 4 Pokemon just died, and he just lost to Nihilego. Just couldn't do anything. So Azar should be at best 2-2. At best 2-2. Think about that. At best. So if he was 2-2, then he would be same record as North. You know, he'd be in about the same place though. But I guess it doesn't matter. But he should be 2-2. He played like garbage against Daniel, and against Damon he flinched like crazy. Not convinced that Azar should be climbing. I know how good Azar was in his prime. So this man can go to the top. But right now, he's 8. Next we got my boy Daniel. 3-2, not bad. He's -1, which is bad. He played against Jarrett week 1 and he got destroyed. Not even gonna go over that game. He lost 5-0. Daniel likes 5-0s. It's like every other week he wins 5-0, then loses 5-0, then wins 5-0, then loses 5-0. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, against Ian, he uses Gyarados to break up Ian's team in the mid game. Just couldn't do anything. Took that win. Nihilego, yeah, he destroyed him in Nihilego. So here we go. So he has an 0-5 loss, and then I think he had a 2-0 win, then a 5-0 win, then against Mio, a clean win. It was like a 4-0 or whatever, and then against Luis, he got smashed by 5-0. So 4-0, 5-0, 4-0, 5-0, 1-0. That's how Daniel rolls. If it's not a wheelchair, Daniel's not playing. Yeah, so this man's been using his Nihilego well. Like he did against Azar, he just swept him with it essentially. Not swept, but he basically broke his whole team with Nihilego. And yeah, Daniel's very strange. You know, I have him here because he's so inconsistent. He got 5-0'd twice, he 5-0'd and 4-0'd, and then he won 1-0. So I don't know what you got, Daniel. Show me what you got. Next we got Jolteon. If you're wondering why the GIF is like that, that's the only one I could find. Granted, I didn't look very hard, but that is the one I found, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'm picking it, I don't care. So I grabbed that one, and look at this team. Inverse, not team. What am I saying? Inverse number 6, right? 3-2 plus 0. Played week 1 against Ian, and he just smacked him. Right? Hold on. I have these out of order. Alright, so Ian. So I believe Ian destroyed him. I'm actually not 100% sure what that game is. Ian versus Inversify. I'm gonna find it. Spheres. I'm gonna find this game. I don't remember what happened. Oh yeah. So who are we on? Wait, we're on Inverse. What the hell? So who did Inverse play? Shit. Is he Heatmores? Yeah, he is. Okay, Heatmores. Who did he play week 1? Okay, so Mio against Inverse. Okay, my notes were wrong. Oh no, they're just out of order. They're just out of order. So, the first game that Inverse played was against Mio, and that's the one where Inverse had Mio had the agility Thunderous, and Inverse switched into his Fortress, and he couldn't do anything about that. So that was the one where Inverse stopped the Thunderous sweep with his Zardex with a nice switch. He smacked Ian, or Ian smacked him. Jeez, I can't remember. He beat Jared on a Sucker Punch 50-50. He got a huge crit on Joao's Marowak, but still lost to the Tailwind plus Fat Leo. So that's 1-1. He beat Robin 3-1. Yeah, so he got smacked by Ian. Yeah. So Inverse, he beat Jared. He beat Joao, he lost to Joao even though they crit. His stuff. Yeah, he beat Robin. His Robin one was nice. That the Z Rain Dance Manaphy sweep on the Charizard Y in the sun. He set Rain Dance in the sun as Zarman for Solar Beam. That was pretty clean. Yeah, Mio, he did what was required to not get swept by Thunderous. So yeah, I just have him at 3-2 pretty simply. Next we got Luis, who's also 3-2. I have Luis at number 5. Playing pretty well. Plus 5 differential, so it's not a joke. Week 1, I think he played very poorly. He just basically lost to setup Muck, and Muck kept recycling berries, and he just couldn't kill it, and he just lost to Muck. Against Jarrett, that's when Luis brought that nice Lottie set that was around all game and just basically did work, and Jarrett just couldn't kill it. Against Squirtle, he played week 3. He just got smashed. The details of the game I don't remember, but at the end, Beedrill got 3 kills right at the end, so he was not very well prepped for Beedrill, so he just did not do very well there. He beat Robin clean 4-0, and then he smoked Daniel with an even cleaner 5-0. So there's not really much drama. Not really a lot to talk about with Luis. He just does his games. They're pretty clean. Not a lot of drama. Differential's nice. Yeah, honestly, he's been using his Lottie really well. I think he's got like 5 kills with it or something. But he's been using it for all sorts of stuff. Like the Lottie against Jarrett, I cannot stress enough how nice the Lottie set was against Jarrett. It was just Jarrett just couldn't kill it. Jarrett just could not kill that set. And that's Luis. Okay, so that's number 5. So let's go. Going into the top 4 now. I'll turn off these gifts. Alright. Now the top 4 for Kakuna. You ready? We got Itzia. Itzia, Jake, Will, Joel. So as I was doing this video, Itzia and Jake actually played. So originally I had Itzia 3rd, Jake 5th, I believe. I moved Jake up to 3rd and Itzia dropped down to 4th because, well, we'll get to that when we get to that. Now the reason I have Itzia there is because the first 2 games he played were not, well, the first 2 games the team played were not played by him. They were played by Andrew, and then Andrew dropped and Itzia replaced him, and Itzia is 2-1 since. He beat previously 3-0 Squirtle, despite missing a Fire Blast with Volcarona. And yeah, so he beat the only other undefeated guy. Well, not only other undefeated, but he beat a undefeated player pretty comfortably. I think it was like 3 or 4-0, and he even missed a Fire Blast. So, and then he played another game against Robin, I believe, and he beat him pretty comfortably. And then the game against Jake was amazing, man. So Itzia brings this garbage Azu set with Sub, Bounce, Aqua Jet, and I don't even know what his last move was, like Play Rough, or it was something stupid. So this man comes in on Venusaur. Sets a Sub, and then eventually, no, I don't know what he came in on, but he subbed. He came in on maybe Slowbro and subbed. I'm not sure. Man goes Venusaur. He goes for Bounce. And I don't even know what Jake was doing. Jake was just like sitting there with his Venusaur not clicking Sludge Wave. And this bounce is doing like 40%. And we're all like, what the hell are you doing, Itzia? And then, ultimately, Itzia lost because the only Pokemon he had left was that stupid Azu set who could not beat Slowbro or Venusaur. And I don't understand the point of that set. It was, although, no, I mean, he told me that he built the team in like 10 minutes. So I guess that makes sense. If you're building in 10 minutes, you don't really have time to check viability of stuff. You just build and you go. So I guess that makes sense. Maybe thought it'd be pretty flames if it could work out. Sub, bounce, jet, Azu, whatever his other move was. That was probably play rough, but yeah, he lost to Jake because he couldn't beat Slowbro. So this is what happened at the start. Turn 1, Jake led Slowbro, I believe, and he led Thunderous. So turn 1, Itzia goes for Nasty Plot. And Licky Licky comes in, hits out with a Thunderbolt, catches a Body Slam, takes 40 from Body Slam, but he's done 60 to Licky Licky. T-Bolts again, kills the Licky Licky. Jake goes into Mamoswine to click Ice Shard, but he had, but Thunderous was Yash Berry, so dies. Mama dies to not Ice Shard, jeez. Grass Knot, Thunderous, it's alive, but with like 7 or 3%, or I don't know, something like that. And Thunderous was Itzia's only Slowbro check on the team. The only one. Absolutely the only one. And he just sacked it. And he couldn't beat Slowbro for the rest of the game, and he lost because of that. So I think, despite how nice it was at the start, that was some garbage prep. But he said he built in 10 minutes, but like, whatever. You still... I can't grade you on your potential, you know? I can only grade you on the performances you put out. So that's why I dropped Itzia under Jake. And, yeah, not really much else to talk about because Itzia only played 3 games. I don't remember the game against Robin, but the game against whatever one, yeah, he beat Squirrel, so that was impressive. But then he lost to Jake, so it's his 4th. Maybe he'll drop, maybe he'll rise. I don't know. We'll see when he gets more games in. Number 3, we got Jake, and Jake is 3-2 plus 3. So we already know what happened with Joao. He lost because he missed a Hurricane. Wait, who's Itzia been using? Apparently Latios. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? So, Jake, oh wait, this... No, not Latios. This doesn't make any sense. It's been Volcarona. It's his best. It has like 7 kills. He actually almost swept, Jake. Oh, okay, so he had one more check to Slowbro. He had Volcarona as a Slowbro check. So what happened was, Jake, Itzia set up the Volcarona. Jake sludge bombed it with Venusaur, I believe, got the poison, and that's when Volcarona dropped, when it was going to sweep Jake. So yeah, it's just been using Volcarona well. So that game was all around so much fun. The chat was explosive. No, all of Hive was lit for the rest of the day. It was pretty fun. That game was nice. I appreciate you, Jake, and I appreciate you as well. Alright, let's move on to Jake. So I put Mamo in because for Jake's Pokemon that he's been using well, because he got a few kills with it, sets rocks, just does damage. Ice Shard, it's like one of those mid-game. It's like Kang. It's like man, who even had Kang? I don't remember who had Kang, but I believe it's Ian that has Kang, and Ian just destroys things mid-game with Kang, which is basically what Jake's been doing with Mamoswine. Or maybe not. I don't know. He just does a bunch of stuff with it, just all around. Whatever he needs Mama to do at the moment. So we already know he lost to Joao because he missed Hurricane. Narth, he had that clutch Chill and Berry on Tornadus to survive the Linoon sweep, and then beat Narth against. Okay, so it's finally time. I want to talk about this Licky Licky game. This Licky Licky showcase, rather. So I'm gonna go on OKC Thunderous, and I don't remember when this guy played Jake. Week 3, if I'm not mistaken. Nope. Week 4, maybe he played Jake. Mew. Yeah, week 4 he played Jake. So this is how it goes, right? So I'm gonna skip ahead. Tell you about I'll tell you about the end. There's one important thing that Licky Licky did. Fire Blast. Where is it? Alright. Where is it, man? Okay, so here we go. So turn 23. Licky Licky comes in on thing as on Mesprit, and Jake predicts Scizor to come in, kills it with Fire Blast, right? 55 HP. Zygarde comes in, clicks Dragon Dance. Jake clicks Ice Beam, does 68%, recovers to 61. He Dragon Dances again. Mio Dragon Dances again, and Jake just kills him off with Ice Beam. Next turn, we got Cobalion. Close combats the Licky Licky. Licky Licky lives on 10 Fire Blasts and takes out the Cobalion. So that Licky Licky. And then he stayed in the next turn against Thundurus, but he died because he was at 16. But he was going to kill the Thundurus too with Ice Beam. So Jake brought Fire, Ice, Licky Licky, and it just got 3 kills. Predict Scizor. He killed something after living a close combat. And he killed Zygarde because that thing was setting up for no reason. And then there's the game against Azar where he hit 2 out of 3 Hurricanes but lost to the one that he missed. And there's the Itzia game, which was that legendary game. Jake prepped well. Unfortunately, Itzia. Thing is, Jake would have won pretty comfortably, I think, if Itzia didn't have that great lead. Because Itzia killed 2 Pokemon right off the bat, and Jake could have done nothing about it because he lost in the lead matchup. So, but still, man, he's 3-2 plus 3 impressive performances. The only games he's lost are to Hurricane misses. And my thing is here, these are power rankings, so these are rankings on the players, not their teams or anything. So Jake is playing well. Jake, I think, is right at the top with Will for the for the guys that are playing the best Pokemon right now. And the reason I'd have Jake at 3-2, the reason I don't have Jake under Will is because he's lost 2 games. And yes, he lost them because he missed Hurricanes. So he got haxed, or whatever you want to call it. He only lost because he missed Hurricanes. Yes. However, he lost 2 games already because he missed Hurricanes, and he continues to run Tornadus. In his game against Itzia, if he missed Hurricane on Mega Gallade, he lost the game. So he was done. But he connected the Hurricane and he won the game. So there's another game that was where hitting Hurricane was the difference between him winning and losing. And Jake might be playing well, but there's no way you can make Hurricane more accurate. There are ways, but it's not like if you're using Hurricane, it's going to become more effective. You're still relying on that 70% accurate move to win you games, and Jake is absolutely doing that. So he could just lose out at any moment. He could lose any game at any moment because he relies so much on this Hurricane. And I think you should. It's sad to see that Jake is playing so well, yet he can only win about 70% of the time because all of his games depend on him hitting Hurricanes. And so if Jake just didn't draft it, he'd probably be 5-0 because he wouldn't be losing to missing Hurricanes. Jake, drop this thing. Drop this thing, man. I promise thing. It's not worth the effort. If you lose in the playoffs because you miss Hurricane, I told you so, I guess, you know? But Jake's playing well. Do I hope that he misses Hurricanes? Hell yeah. I hope he misses Hurricanes and crashes out of the playoffs. No. I want him to miss Hurricanes in the playoffs. I think that's going to be the funniest, since he insists on running. Doesn't think... Well, that's my Hurricane rant. I hate Hurricane. I hate missing moves. You guys know that. Anyway, Jake, you're playing really well. I have you at number 3, not number 2, because you have 2 losses. And it's not like you can be like, oh yeah, I just missed 2 Hurricanes, it's not gonna happen again. Nah, it's gonna happen again. You know, you're gonna miss more Hurricanes. So the fact that it's only because he loses to Hurricane, the fact that he only loses to Hurricane misses doesn't matter because he's gonna keep losing to them. So yeah, that's Jake. Then we got Squirtle, Joel, 3-1, pretty good. I'm gonna say Shaman was his best mon because this man just brings in Shaman, walls everything, hits Seed Flares. If Shaman ever gets status, he always runs Natural Cure. I don't know if there's any other ability you can run, but Natural Cure always heals him up. He always keeps him healthy. Yeah, Shaman's been pretty good for Joel. First week he played against Max and he stalled him forever, like 75 turns or something. Damn, 75 turns or something, and What was the next game? Oh, this game was pretty impressive. He actually, I haven't talked about this one because Damon is not here, and I didn't talk about Damon's games in ICES that much. Damon ran Z-Hail Curum with Blizzard, and he got to +1 speed, and he got to a point where he weakened. I'm actually going to pull it up because this is an important moment in the game. Because this looks like it would have gone Ian, not Ian, Damon's way, had he not. This looks like it would have gone Damon's way had. Well, I'll explain when the time comes. Squirtle Squad. Let me just pull up the replay. Okay, no, that was Max. Week 2 versus Damon. Oh, what did I just do? Okay. So, yeah, the week against Damon. So, at some point in here, Damon went for Z-Hail with Curum. So, he sets us up. Okay, so, man, yeah, I thought Damon was going to win this one for sure. So, he brings Curum in on Diggersby to threaten it out, knowing it's not scarfed. It switches. He goes for sub. Oh, no, he goes for Z-Hail on the switch. As Squirtle went into Suicune. He subs. Suicune clicks Toxic. Doesn't do anything. Right? He goes for Fusion Bolt. Crit 53. Goes for Fusion Bolt again. So this Suicune rests. Right? He goes for Fusion Bolt. Fusion Bolt. And then at 40%, Suicune was not in range to die to 3 Fusion Bolts. Well, it's not going to die to 3 Fusion Bolts, but it was at 40%, so it wasn't going to die to a Fusion Bolt, so he clicked Blizzard. Then Suicune woke up, clicked Rest again, and he just switched. So, thing is, he was going to run out of Fusion Bolts, so he wouldn't be able to kill the Suicune after all. But yeah, this is what I mean. Joel knows how to stall, man. Not necessarily stall, but he knows how to play defensively because this man had Z-Hail Curum, and he forced him out behind a sub. So Joel's playing pretty well, man. That I thought surviving that Z-Hail Curum was pretty impressive, I think. Comfortably stalled Max, smashed Damon. Then we got the Beedrill domination week 3. Who is that against? I don't know, but he destroyed someone. Oh, Luis. He destroyed Luis with Beedrill week 3. Week 4. Who did he play week 4? Oh yeah. So week 4 he played Itzia. Swept by Volk. So he was gonna get swept by Volcarona had Volcarona not missed Fire Blast. So Itzia misses Fire Blast. Squirtle survives, but Itzia cleaned him up anyway because he did too much damage with the Volcarona. Ripped through his team, couldn't handle it. So Squirtle's 3-1. His only loss was to Itzia. Even though it was a pretty comfortable win for Itzia, he won even though he missed Fire Blast. Like even though his sweeper died, the sweeper that 100% won the game here. I guess the thing is, it would have been hard for Joel to beat Itzia because when you look at it, against Damon he played defensively, against Max he played defensively, and against Luis. What's the Luis game? How did that Luis game go? Who did he play? When did he play Luis? Week 3, I believe. Did he bring a defensive team against Luis? Probably like Coco. So he brings Suicune, Shaman. Obviously Suicune, Sub, Shaman, Yuxi. Yeah, and he just like jumps between Shaman and Suicune and Yuxi as much as he can. So he brings a core of defensive Pokemon, and maybe Itzia was just able to take advantage of him generally playing so defensively. And now, this is the king. This guy would be on the top. Like, there's a gap between Will. Okay, so Will and Jake, I think, are playing equally well. Jake, obviously, because he has 2 losses, because he's an idiot and drafted Torn. I have him a little lower. But I think Will's actually playing a little better than Jake. I'm going to go over all of Will's games because Will is just putting on a show, and I think everyone needs to know what he's doing because it is so entertaining. Will, you have inspired me. You have inspired me with your greatness. He's only plus 11. He's only plus 11 at 5-0. But if you remember, week 1, I was talking about Robin's week 1 was against Will. So Will is first and Robin is last. So it was the very first game I talked about. Will brought what looked to be a Scarf Heatran. Again, it may have not been a Scarf Heatran. I don't know. But what looked like to have been a Scarf Heatran, and he was basically like 15% away from losing to, like 15% damage on Heatran away from losing to Robin. But that Scarf Heatran pulled out in the end, beat that Slurpuff. He played against, his game against Mew was also very clean. It wasn't, like, nothing special happened because every time every time Mew tried to set up with Zygarde or Scizor, he would always have the checks for it. He would always have the insurance policies. Scizor was especially easy because he has Manectric, so what are you even going to do? You can U-turn, I guess, but Manectric is powerful. And he ended up just cleaning the game with Manectric, so it didn't look like Mew prepped very well for Manectric, and Will prepped very well for Mew's threats. Next one. Oh, God. Okay, this game against Narth, man. This was nuts. So, let me just check my notes under Narth. Yeah, okay. So my notes under my notes for the Narth game, if you remember, I say Will is 2 flames. What do you even do against this man? Let me pull up the game. Show you what happened. Because Will, what he did do, what I will tell you Will did is he brought Choice Band and Miltank. Scrubber's and that Choice Band and Miltank, let me show you what it did. Let me just find exactly what it did. Where is it? Alright, so it clicked Return against Seismitoad and did 88 damage as a crit. Clicked Return again, finished it up. Garchomp comes in, Swords Dances. Will clicks Return, crits the Garchomp, does 78%. Chomp kills the Miltank, but he just he comes in with Manectric, clicks it in power. He was going to revenge it, but he switched out. But in any case, Miltank killed Seismitoad and did like 80% damage to Garchomp with Banded Body Slam and crit twice. Not only that, the way Will led this game, I'm going to talk about that as well. He leads what you think is Manectric, right? Because he brought out Manectric, and Narth led with Seismitoad. Switched out Seismitoad on the Manectric, fearing the HP Grass. Or maybe doubled, expecting a switch, right? But he went into Reuniclus, and Will clicked Nasty Plot. So Will was not in with Manectric, but with Zoroark. And Reuniclus comes in, and he baited him perfectly. Reuniclus switched out, he Dark Pulses the incoming Tapu Fini, and then, let me see, does he Sludge it? Yeah, he sludged it, but he then switches into Legion Flames, the Halucha. Click Drain Punch, but lives on his Focus Sash, Sludge Bombs again, and he just drops. So he didn't get too much done, but he got damage on Fini a bit, and he was able to revenge Halucha with E-Speed. So that set, the Nasty Plot one, and the Miltank just threw Narth off, and he just could not come back. Yeah, the Abandoned Miltank was critting everyone. And that Jarrett game that he played was just ridiculous. The one that ended with him winning on a 2% Crawdon, Life Orb Crawdon. In his final game was absolutely nuts. So Will brought so much heat against Ian. He brought a Spark. I actually have the set. He sent me the set. What was the set? He brought Max HP, Max Spadef, Curse, Crunch, Rest, Spark, Mega Manectric. To 1v1 Hippopotamus or whatever, Hippopotamus, whatever Hippo's first form is. He wanted to 1v1 that, and he did. And he legit 1v1 that with Manectric. And the Curse Manectric was Spadef, so even hidden powers weren't doing any damage. Like HP grounds were doing like 12% to him or 20 or whatever. They were doing nothing. Mega Man was doing work, and he had +6 crunches and sparks. This man was not to be stopped. Eventually, Ian was able to take out his Manectric, and then this man just comes in with Z Sunny Day Heatran and gets hit. Oh, no, he was Sunny Day Heatran. Wait, how did he? I'm actually gonna pull up that game. How did Will set the sun with his Heatran? I can't remember. How did Will set the sun with his Heatran? Let's see. Oh, crap, he doesn't have the link. So who did he play? Ian? So Sphealers. Oh my god. I can't find the game. Wait, so that's the Jarrett one. The Ian one. I think it's this one. I think I found it. North, no. Yeah, okay. So he won 4-0 in this one. But let's see what happens. Let's see, we got Cursed Mega Man at some point. This is a long battle. Yeah, they stalled forever. So Cursed Mega Man takes out some stuff after like, yeah, this game was long. Cursed Mega Man died eventually. He wanted to just take out the hippo, and then he had other Pokemon to do work with. Drain Punch, yeah. So okay, he goes into Heatran on Melodic, right? Melodic recovers. Heatran goes for Flame Charge, right? Boosts his speed. Melodic goes for Recover, no big deal. Heatran goes for Sunny Day. The Melodic Scalds, Weakness Policy boosts, so Heatran's in there with +1 speed, +2 attack, and +2 special attack, and he cleans the rest of the game. So Will's been bringing beautiful sets and just can't stop this man, honestly. I don't know how. We'll see who does. So yeah, so let's just look over this one more time. The order, we got Will number 1, Joel number 2, Jake number 3, Itzia number 4, Luis 5, Inverse 6, then Daniel, then Azar, Narth, first game, the 9th place rather, first game out of top 8, I guess. Then Jarrett, Joao, Ian, and finally Max, Ice, Mio, and Robin. So those are my power rankings. This video was extremely long because it's hard to talk about games that you just found all the info on. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope these power rankings are alright. Fat Leo out.